What's happening? What's going on? I want to welcome you back to another episode of the AFYL podcast. Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. And this is where, this is where impossible meets possible right here on this podcast. So today, man, what are we talking about? We are talking about living life on the next level. We're going to talk about what this is. What does living the life on the next level mean? How can that be good for you? And how can you get a copy of this book? You can get a copy of this book on Amazon, right? You can get a copy of the book on Amazon. Or if you want an autographed copy of this book, you can get that directly from me. You can get that directly from me. All you got to do is put book or next level in the comment. Put next level in the comments. I will DM you so that you can get an autographed copy of this book from me, and I will send that directly to you. So, what is living life on the next level, guys? You know, back in 2020, you know, God did something. This was 2020. This was May of 2020, right around this time. I think it was around the 7th. No, it wasn't the 7th, but I know it was in May of 2020. It's in the book. In May of 2020, I don't know, God called me, picked up the phone. He says, it's crazy because yesterday I recorded a podcast that did not record, that I was a little upset. And uh, um, the, the title of the podcast was when when God called me, I gave him my story. So the thing about God calling, this time I didn't give him a story. What I gave him was that's interesting. God called, and here's what he said. He says, look, I want you to go up to see your parents. Okay. It was in the middle of COVID, right? So, I mean, they started allowing people to get out. That was in May. So in May, they were allowing people to get out. So you can go place if you had to go or whatever. So I was going to drive up to see my parents like on a Monday or on a Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember the exact day. And God said something. He said, why don't you write a book while you're driving? Write a book. He said, write a book while you're driving. So long story short, I narrated about 80% of the book on the drive up and the drive back. Then I had to finish it up when I got back. I finished the whole manuscript within 7 days. So what is living life on the next level? Living life, or what is next level, is growing. It's growing. It's, the story that I have in the book on growing was that I did not know I was going to grow. We don't know what capacity God has put in us. That's why the subtitle of this book is Discovering a Simple Path for Personal Leadership. And personal leadership is understanding that growth is inherent to all of us. There's not a person on the planet that cannot grow and that is not programmed to grow. We're all programmed to grow. So if we're all programmed to grow, when is the growth spurt going to happen? For me, I was 5'3". I was going high school. I went to Pine Forge Academy in Pine Forge, PA, and I'm going up there. I'm 5'3". I'm short. I had no idea I was going to be tall. Now, here's what God probably was laughing at me, because me and my older brother, we were the same shoe size. He's 5 years older than me. We were the same shoe size. I'm wearing his shoes, but I was trying to figure why the shoes hurt. The shoes hurt my feet, but I know we wear the same shoe size. Yeah, I got a bunion. I got a bunion on my left foot because I wore shoes that were too small when I was that young. Because I didn't realize something was happening to my feet. But here's the thing: I had a big head, and I had big feet, and I did not know I had big feet, or I did not know that big feet was a sign of something. And what was that sign of? It was a sign that I was going to be tall. The next level was on its way, and I didn't even know it. I had no awareness of what this was. 5'3", 5'10", sophomore year. 6 foot. I'm 6 foot. my junior year, between junior year, and then I'm about 6'1.5" senior year. By the time I turned 19, I'm 6'3". I had no awareness that God embedded change in me. But why wouldn't a human being who should understand human beings have an awareness of change? Why wouldn't we have an awareness of it? When from the time we come out of mommy's womb, from the time we came out, we were growing. Every week, oh, he gained another pound. Oh, he got a little bit longer. Like literally, when a baby, every time you go to the doctor and the baby, they keep weighing the baby. They keep seeing how long the baby is. They keep measuring the baby because, oh, yep, your baby is growing. Now, who doesn't want their babies to grow? Is there a mother or father not wanting their babies to grow? We all want our babies to grow. But yet, we fail to see next level. We fail to see it. We fail to understand that God inherently did something in us. See, here's the problem, though. The moment you become aware, around 12 years old, we're stepping into life. That's why it's so interesting how they've kind of like manipulated, a child's life cycle when really at around 12 or 13, you're going into you're going to adulthood. Where when they say, no, adulthood is 21. That's when you're going to be an adult. No, adulthood is around 13. That's when adulthood. So at that transition point of 12 to 13, that's where you're becoming able to do whatever you need to do. You now have the awareness. You now have the ability to reason. You now have the ability to think and on a level where you can now start doing things for yourself. But yet they want the children to stay kids. That's another topic. So if all these things are embedded into our life. See, living life on the next step. I remember when I wrote the book. And, I just love the book title. Shout out to my boy, David Harris, David Harris, who's the publisher, Harris Publishing, who published this book, who created I just love it. And here's what David told me. He says, Jay, I don't normally put my authors on the cover. He said, but something told me to put you on the cover. Wow. Got another book here. It doesn't have much. Look at this one. Next Level Faith. I'm not on the cover. Hey guys, I have copies of this book as well. If you want an autographed copy of this book, you can DM me Next Level. Right? Put Next Level in the chat. I will DM you back and we can get you some books coming your way, autographed. Or you can get them on Amazon, right? Go to Amazon, Jay Moore, Next Level Faith, Jay Moore, Living Life for the Next Level. So David put me on this book cover. Why did he put me on there? When God says something about you, you don't actually have to tell people what God said. I'll say that again. When God says something about you, you don't have to tell people what God said. At least you don't have to tell the right people what God says, because they will hear it for themselves and they will see it for themselves. And then they will do whatever it is that God's telling them to do. And my brother said, I'm going to put you on the cover. See, living life on the next level is first understanding that change is inherent to everything that you're going to do in life. Change. Whatever you're going to do, you're going to have to change. It doesn't matter what it is. You're going to have to make some changes. Hey, you want to lose some weight? You're going to make a change. You got to think different. It's interesting because last night I had a conversation with somebody that I'm talking about amazing. This guy's a man amongst men. This guy is like, he's living life on the next level. He's got next level faith. Like, he is at the top. He is perfect in all his ways. You're probably saying, you talk to God? Something like that. I talked to the perfect me. I called him up last night. I said, hey, I said, all right, look, we need to have a conversation. Initially, initially I was going to have conversations with a number of J's. I decided I didn't want to talk to the other J's. I said, you know what? I don't want to talk to J at 4. I don't want to talk to J at 12. I don't want to talk to J at 18 or 21. I want to talk to the dude who knows everything about me. And the one who is perfect, the one who is doing it. I'm talking about there's nothing stopping. I want to talk to him. Called him up. He answered. He was like, man, I've been waiting for your call. I was like, yeah, what's up? And I just start talking to him about him. Tell me a little bit about this. Tell me a little bit about that. Show me a little bit about this. And one of the things I asked him, I says, man, I really want to get this 6-pack. He says, all right, man, I got that already. You know it's kind of easy, right? Yeah. He says, don't put any sugar in your coffee. Don't put any sweetener in your coffee. None. Don't put nothing in. And so, it's interesting because unlike days before, I would wake up, I would think about it, and I would still, even if I have the coffee creamer that has sugar in it, I would use that. Or I got some agave, I drop some agave in my coffee. I made my coffee. I do put a little light cream in it. I didn't even think about the agave until I was stirring it. And I was like, oh, I don't even want it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Then I drank it. I didn't miss it. Ooh. I said, man, I got to have more conversations with me. See, living life on the next level. The interesting thing about this next level is that it's inherent to change, and change is the hardest part. I just want you to think about it. Imagine this. I got to call out. I got to call out Jenny. Call out Jenny because Jenny, she's a person that has faith. She's the person that has next level faith. I've witnessed it. And sometimes, it's nothing like wanting to hold on to things that don't even serve you. And sometimes she's like, I'm just gonna do it, which I get it, right? Because no one wants to give up something they like or something they love. No one wants to give up anything that they love, right? Because the things that we love, we just want to keep doing. We want to keep experiencing. But as I'm talking to myself, my perfect self, what I'm discovering is that what I personally love is that there's a version of me that has everything that I want. Back up. Wrong word. There's a version of me that has everything I desire and things that I have no awareness of that I could desire. There's a version of me. It's crazy. I saw somebody recently on, I'm not like on a reel or on a video, and then I saw him on YouTube. What's his name? Carlson is his last name, but I can't remember it because this is the first time I'd seen him, and I was watching one of his programs with him and his partner, and they were talking about, and they were pretty much talking. What they were talking about is the connection that we gotta have to the realm where the best version of us exists, and literally rising up from where we are, exiting where we are. It's crazy because they use Exodus as a terminology. We got to exit. We got to exit. We got to transition from this low level to this new level. And the transition from this low level to this new level, we've got to let go of everything. We got to let go of the past. We got to let go of anything that would keep us from this new level. Just imagine this. If you're anything like me and you have aspirations, and just say you wanted to be rich, say you wanted to be wealthy, say you wanted to have like everything that you've ever desired, that's on a different level. That is not on the level that you're living on. It's not even possible to have it on that level. So that means that a person has to literally go through a metamorphosis. Oh man, God is so good. Oh man, we got to get that book out. A, a person has to go through a metamorphosis of literally a transformation where you don't look like anything. They gave a story of a dragonfly. That's what I remember. They talked about a dragonfly, and they talked about how a dragonfly, the way we see it, it didn't start that way. Just like a caterpillar and a butterfly, but the dragonfly lives in water. The whole, like its whole experience is in water, not even breathing. It's just in the water. And then when it comes out of the water, when it goes into its new level and becomes this dragonfly, because the dragonfly looks totally different. The water that's in the dragonfly creates the wings. It creates a new being, and all of a sudden it's a dragonfly. I never heard that story. I never heard that before. I was like, what? I'm thinking that a caterpillar butterfly is the biggest transformation, where they was like, that dragonfly, that transformation is unmatched. Living life on the next level is inherent to every person living today. See, God's called you to a level that you're not on. And if you're anything like me, you may have given God a story that when he called you for the level. See, when God called me originally and asked me and he didn't ask, he just invited me into this new thing. And he started showing me, I was overwhelmed because it seemed bigger than me. Imagine God coming to you with all that you could ever desire, and yet the story of the low level is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how I stuttered. I'm talking about how I was shy. I'm talking about how this seems like it's not for me. I'm talking about all these things that God is like, what are you talking about? That's not who I see. I see a guy who's perfect in every way. See, as I'm reflecting here on when God invites you into what he's doing with you, it's a blessing. Like it's a blessing to know that God has something specific for you. Specific. It's just for you. It's not for anybody else. No one else can have it. It's yours. Now, here's the thing. God's asking everybody I'm going to say everybody. God's asking a lot of people to do things. And what happens is a lot of people getting asked to do a lot of the same types of things. But here's the thing. Because God is so good, he knows that no one person can do it the same. So it doesn't really matter because the way you're going to do it is going to be different than the way someone else is going to do it. So even if you miss it this week or next week or this year or last year, somebody else picks up the mantle and they're running with it. Oh, but there's still an opportunity for you. So the first thing we got to get in understanding what living life on the next level is that there's an inherent change embedded into each and every one of us. There's that dragonfly effect where you've been underwater for many years. We have not stepped into what God has called us into, and yet we are still at that point where all we gotta do is come out of the water, right? Once we come out of the water, and we exhale and we breathe in this new life, all of a sudden, we just go up and we go up. And then that's when the change starts. That's when the metamorphosis starts. Tomorrow, we're going to discuss change. We're going to go through each principle over the next week. Today, we've talked about the inherent next level. The capacity is already in you. Next level is already happening. So now we just have to embrace that is an inherent change that we will go through in order to be who God created us to be. So that's living life on the next level. And that is the beginning stages of where we're going over the next week. So look, guys, be sure, get this book. Get this book. You can get it on Amazon. You can get both of these books on Amazon. Next Level Faith, Living Life on the Next Level. If you are the kind of person that's, I'd love to get your autographed copy of it, then I will, look, you've got a DM, well, not DM. You can put in the comments Next Level. I will DM you with details on how you can get an autographed copy directly from me so that you can begin this lifelong journey of living your life on the next level. So guys, I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Life podcast. I'm Jay Moore. I'm the healthy accountant helping you to account for your life. God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.